Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. First off, I'd like to say thank you to those of you who follow the channel regularly for your patience. It's taken a little bit of time to get the channel back kind of up and running. I've purchased a new camera, so you might see a slight difference in the quality of the reviews, of course. But my computer died and I lost maybe something around 30 different videos that I had kind of already saved up and ready to put up on the channel, but I will be able to recover those at some point. I'm just not quite sure when. But anyway, today is the 30th of April here in Sweden, which is Valborg. Of course, there's an old tradition of they used to let the animals out to graze, and they lit bonfires to scare away the predators. So since it's quite a kind of popular Swedish holiday, if you like, I thought I'd go for one of the new beers that's come out from a very established Swedish brewery. So for this one, we are going to return it to Dalarna, and we're having a taste of the Oppigårds Bryggeri's New Sweden IPA, which should be quite interesting. This guy got a 96 overall on Rate Beer. It's 6.2% ABV, and it's one of these New England style IPAs, so really looking forward to this one. I know that Oppigårds are a very solid brewery. They tend to do some really nice beers, so I'm sure this one will be pretty good, especially if it's got the rating of 96. But yeah, so anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews I've done from Oppigårds before. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can search in the home page for country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Oppigårds Bryggeri then. So Oppigårds was founded in the early 2000s in Hedemora, which is to the northwest of Stockholm in Dalarna county, and it's quite close to Borlänge and also Falun, which of course is home to one of my favourite bands, Sabaton. But the brewery sits on the 250-year-old Folkestrom family farm in a small wooden building, which was actually apparently constructed back in the year 1896. This space was originally used for flax dressing, but also for their great-grandfather's metalsmithing business. But all of the beers are brewed in this old building, and they've also recently added a new malt house as well. So the brewery was founded in the early 2000s by Björn Oppigård to revive the family farm, and he also wanted to do something about reviving the traditional Swedish farmhouse ales. These beers, of course, were the norm in Sweden until all these sort of generic lager breweries started taking over in the 1800s, and this was what largely made the Swedish farmhouse ales kind of uneconomic after that point in time. But the brewery's become very popular in Sweden, of course, since then, and it's allowed the Folkestrom family to continue to make their living on the farm as they've done it since the 1700s. In their first year they produced only around 8,000 litres of beer and sold it very locally to them, but these days they're one of the biggest breweries in Sweden. From what I understand, they produce well over 1 million litres of beer per year, and they've just installed a new Italian brew kit. They did have some problems with actually getting that installed and getting it up and running, because they released this beer, but at Systembolaget you could only buy it in crates, but I think it is available now as a kind of single bottle thing, so they must have their new brewery up and running, but they did have some problems with that. But these guys are a very kind of well established brewery these days. They do some really quite nice stuff, so if you get the chance, I'd recommend you try some of the Oppigårds beers, particularly the Turbo IPA or the Turbo Stout. Those are probably two of my favourites. But yeah, so if you want to see my other Oppigårds reviews, like I said, check out the links in the description below. If you want to learn more about the brewery, check out the brewery website. And my favourite beers I've had from these guys are probably the India Tribute is a really nice one. I like the Turbo IPA, the Turbo Double IPA, and also the Turbo Stout. Those are really nice beers, so make sure you try those. But let's actually get on into the tasting of this one itself. So this one, as I mentioned to you, is a 6.2% New England IPA. It's hot with Chinook, Mosaic, Equinox, Simcoe and Citra, and it's got a malt base of Pilsner wheat, light caramel, some oat flakes in there, and also unmalted wheat as well. So it should be a really quite interesting beer, this one. So yeah, I read on the website as well, this beer was actually named after a Swedish colony that was made over in North America somewhere, but it only lasted a few decades apparently. I had no idea that Sweden had been involved in colonialism back then, but kind of cool. So I'll just let you have a little quick look at the artwork. It's a little bit different It's the same kind of style, but it is a little bit different from the other ones you're going to find from Oppigårds. Nice colour, this one as well. I do like the slight difference in the artwork they've put there. You can see it's a kind of C-scene. You can see Björn Oppigårds signature just up here. I'm not sure how well the camera's focusing on that. And there, of course, the star with the green background is the standard Oppigårds bottle cap. So yeah, 33 centilitre bottle, this one. So without further ado then, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting. Really looking forward to this. So yeah, nice smoky opening then, and we'll get it out into the glass. You can smell these nice fruity characteristics of the hops already on this one. Lovely smelling beer. First thing I'm getting is actually a little bit of that kind of lemon-limey character from the Equinox hop, or Equinaut as it's called these days. They keep changing the name of that. It was originally HBC 366 or 336, I can't remember. Then it became Equinox, and then of course it became Equinaut. But it's kind of distinctive. It gives you a sort of lemon-limey kind of aroma to the beers. But yeah, as you would expect, this guy has poured a really kind of bright, almost fruit juicy colour. It's almost like, it's not quite pineapple, it's more like a kind of orangey, kind of tropical juice, this one. But it looks very nice. There's a solid finger of a frothy white head on this one. It's completely kind of opaque actually. There's not a lot of light getting through that at all. But I think it's fair to say this beer is a nice kind of, not quite blood orange, but it's a kind of bright yellowy orange colour, this one. But it looks very, very nice. There's some big bubbles sticking to the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the edge out there. But you can see a really nicely presented, pretty nice looking beer, this one I should say. So yeah, let's have a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on. Now, yeah, that smells pretty nice. As I always say, the aroma of craft beer is half the experience. So just make sure you enjoy that before you actually try the beer. But yeah, you can smell the nice malt base on this one. There's a lot of that kind of nice oaty and bready character coming out of it. This New England IPA trend, I've seen actually some people saying they don't like it so much, but to be honest, I don't. There's a lot of politics goes on in beer these days, and I can't be bothered with it. If it's good beer, it's good beer. That's as far as I'm concerned, at least. But yeah, so there's a lot of nice bready, oaty things. You can really pick up the oats in this one, I think. The wheaty kind of bready characters coming out quite nicely as well. There's almost a little bit of a biscuity sweetness coming out of this one as well. And that'll be the light sort of caramel malts actually. But it's a lovely smelling beer, this. It's not too pungent on the sort of kind of floral and sort of the kind of floral aromatic kind of thing. It's more a little bit, it's more grassy in terms of the hops, and then there's a lot of the fruity character too. So I can definitely pick up those lemon limey notes that you're getting from the Equinaut. You can really smell that in this one. There's a bit of orangey character, which will be from the Amarillo. Sorry, not the Amarillo, the Mosaic. It's Mosaic that's in this one. But yeah, a little bit of passion fruit. Yeah, I think it's the lemon lime that's kind of sticking out on this one, and the sort of orangey, tangerine things from Mosaic. Those are the ones that are jumping out at me. Yeah, but there's a little bit of passion fruit, I think, from the Simcoe as well. So there's a lot of these kind of typical fruits that you would expect from these hops, but it smells really nice. So just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one before you get stuck in. But we're going to try this beer now. So this one is the New Sweden IPA, a New England style IPA at 6.2% from Oppigårds Bryggeri up in Hedemora in Dalarna here in Sweden. Happy Valborg, guys, and thank you for being patient while I got the channel back up and running. Skål! That's pretty nice. That's a really quite nice beer, that. If you get the chance to try this one, buy it and have a go. As I would expect from Oppigårds, they've done a nice job with this. I mean, my one complaint that I would say about Oppigårds is that when they can produce beers like this, they just don't experiment enough. I mean, last year they produced the, what was it called, the Lavish IPA, and that was a really good beer, and that was a limited edition one that they released. They've had a core range, from what I understand, that has been the same for a good number of years. But when they can produce new beers like this, I do wish they would experiment just a little bit more, and maybe now that they have this new brew kit, they will actually do that. So hopefully that's something that they take on board. because when they can produce beers like this, I do hope they experiment a little bit more. Because they're certainly quite good at what they do. But yeah, this is nice. So yeah, it's got, as you would expect from the malt base, you've got a nice kind of wheaty, sort of bready thing going right across the middle of your tongue. It's the wheat for me that kind of underpins the whole beer. You can feel a little bit of the kind of oaty sweetness and a little bit of the biscuity character as you go right into the middle of the palate. This one isn't too big in terms of IBUs. It's got a nice sort of floral, slightly spicy character on the sides of the palate. There's maybe a teeny little bit of earthiness in the back corners. But then as you come further forward along the edge of your palate, there's a nice sort of spicy floral aromaticity to this one. As you go round the front curve of your palate, it's lighter and grassy, and of course the fruity notes of this beer start to come out just a little bit behind the front curve of your tongue. You get that little oily bubble there, and that's where these nice juicy kind of fruity aspects of the hop start to come out. But this is a lovely beer. If you get the chance to try this, I highly recommend that you do. In terms of the rating it's got on Rate Beer, I'd say it's certainly deserving of that. The 96 that it has certainly is a fair rating for this one. It's a nice beer, it's nice and drinkable, but as my mouth is adjusting to it, I can feel a little bit more of the kind of hoppy bitterness is starting to come out on this one. It's just got this nice, slightly dark but also spicy floral aromaticity on the edge of the tongue. You can just feel that building and building as your palate sort of adjusts to this beer. But it's nicely balanced. I like the balance it's got between the nice kind of sweet aspects of the malt base and the sort of dark, spicy floral aromaticity. The way the fruits come out on this one is nice too. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with the fruits. You can feel, if you just pay attention to that little bit behind the front curve of your tongue, you can feel that you can detect that it's the kind of grapefruit, which is the Chinook, just kind of underpinning this beer. That's of course what will give you the slightly more spicy, almost pine resiny floral aromaticity to the beer as well. It's a popular bittering hop, that one, but you can detect a little bit of that kind of grapefruit character just underpinning the beer. The passion fruit sitting on top of that a little bit. There's some sort of tangerine aspects, the sort of orangey things coming out of the mosaic, but then as you move further into the aftertaste you get a little bit more of that slightly tangerine orange kind of thing, and then there's the sort of lemon limey character as well, and some of these lighter fruits from the citra in there as well. I'm getting a little bit maybe of the mangoes that you would expect from the citra too, but in the initial parts of the fruity character, it's mainly the grapefruit that's just underpinning that. The sort of passion fruit and the mangoes that you'll get from the citra and the simcoe are a little bit suppressed because of the Chinook, I think. But it's a nice beer, this. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. And it is cool to see another brewery getting on board with these kind of New England IPAs. It's an interesting beer style, I think. Of course, Brewski are the ones who have been getting involved in this recently as well. Stigbergets, of course, are the brewery when it comes to the Swedish New England IPAs. But it's cool to see Oppigårds kind of getting in on this as well. Like I said, these guys are a very capable brewery, so it's cool to see them producing something new. But yes, it's a nice beer and I would recommend you try it for yourself. In terms of the mouthfeel that this beer has, I would say it's mid-bodied, I think. I find all of these New England IPAs are quite mid-bodied. The carbonation in this one is quite smooth. It's got somewhere between a kind of creamy and oily mouthfeel. There's a good bit of both in this one. It leans slightly more toward the kind of creamy side of things. There's a good little bit of hoppy bitterness. I'm finding that builds as my palate adjusts to the beer. Just that kind of spicy, almost that sort of dark, spicy floral aromaticity on the side of the tongue, like I was saying. The malt base in this one is smooth. It has a little bit of sweetness to it. And the fruity side of things is quite juicy, but it's got a lot of that sort of dark, that kind of dark grapefruit character, and that of course mixes with the nice spicy floral aspects to this beer as well. But overall, it's very nicely done, and like I said, I wouldn't expect anything less from Oppigårds. So these guys are, these guys produce some really good stuff. If you get the chance to, have a look at this beer, then I highly recommend that you do. It's a really nice take on the New England style. So if you get the chance to have a go at this beer, I highly recommend that you do. But once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've just had a little thing with my Wi-Fi with the camera, of course, which is a little bit strange. There must be a timer on that, so I need to work with that in the future. But once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below, but I will catch you guys very soon with more beer reviews. And yeah, do let me know your own thoughts on this. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff, and I will catch you guys very soon. I hope you've enjoyed the review with the new camera as well, and I'll catch you guys later on. Cheers. Oppigårds New Sweden IPA. Make sure you check it out.